Hi folks, here we are again. Let me see, I talked you through concepts, theoretic, basic, abstract and the GI world, through what could be, what should be, etc. And it all may seem good to you, but you want something concrete, right? So rather than going through these big and current examples like Darjeeling tea, tequila, or Café de Colombia, you can all find this on Google, and I don't need to take care of that. This is not something which you should be focused at, because they have a big success, yes, but they have special situations, special products. They could strong, and they did the right thing. That is right. Now, something concrete. So the first thing I would talk you through would be the possibilities you have in Africa. Africa is has not many GIs, right? They have 1, 2, 3, I don't know, but they have very little on GIs. Well, it's not astonishing due to the fact that GIs come from Europe. So in Europe you have a tradition of GIs, in Africa you don't have. But my point is, in Africa you have a lot of potential for GIs. And I will back this up. There's a study out there, and I will put you at the end, as usual, the search terms for Google search for the study, and you will get into some details. And a bit, this is based on the study, although the study makes other points, etc. But I give you an example, one table here, out of the study, which gives you some examples what can be done in Africa, what is the potential in Africa with regard to the products they have. And you might, out there in Africa, hopefully you are, and you get some idea what are the potentials of your continent with regard to potential GIs. I will not start with the GIs. So I explained you GIs, but the beginning is much different. That is not really a GI. It is about the organizing yourself, right? And this is what today is about. So I will give you some examples on possible products in Africa to go to market, and then I will come to a concrete example, which is organic rice in Philippines. So let's do this. Africa, they don't have GIs, but they have the products, and I have a table here. I will see whether I can get it to you. This table, let me see. Here they are. If you can see this, I don't know if you can see this. You can do one thing. You can pause this here and look at the different examples you have. And it is about Congo, it's about Gabon, Guinea, and Ivory Coast, Kenya, Madagascar, etc. So all these countries are named here. And then you have sweet potatoes, you have pineapples, banana, you have Mombasa mango, Machaco mango, you have argan oil, you have Konyagi alcohol, Kilimanjaro coffee, you have tobacco and chipping coffee. So you have a lot of products out there. I think you can't see this on the table because it's a photo and is on the inverse. So I would rather invite you to go to the study I put at the end, and then you will be able to see it on the internet. I know that internet you have, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see this here. So the potential are out there, and if you are in Africa, if you are from this country or from that area, then I will invite you to go into this list and see whether you can find your country and the product, the area where you're in, or you may have in mind already another product which is not on the list, Or still, it may be possible, a lot on the list are on the raw materials, so you may want to go into something different, a combination of goods from your area. So this good of the list, and perhaps combined with another good or another 2 or 3 goods, and make a different product which is not so easy to compare with on the market, and you may get a different pricing scheme on it. So these are concrete examples. So out there in Africa, potentials for acting upon. So more concrete than that is very difficult for me to get here from Europe. Now, I promised you a different example, which is organic rice in Philippines. You may come from Southeast Asia, so organic rice, you are familiar with it. Organic rice is a subset of the rice industry or rice production. A small one, it is 4, 5, 10%, although the rice market is very, very big, so even 4% is a lot. Now, what happens with the rice, the organic rice? It started out in 1986 or so with a possibility that the consumer demand, they want healthy rice and healthy food, and healthy rice would be organic rice. So there was a certain demand with regard to organic rice. And in the Philippines in 2001, so once this was started, the demand came in, and the supply had to be built up. In 2001, in the Philippines had on 15,400 acres, they had 11,000 farmers, small-scale farmers, just like you out there, small-scale farmers who are working on the organic rice industry. And after a certain moment, the organic rice farmers, they got switching from normal rice to the organic rice. They had 1.5% production cost more, with low chemicals being used in order to be organic, right? That was the main issue. And they had an increase in their result, in their income of 119%. And I talk here about farmers, small-scale farmers, which are all over and have the same problem. So they are rural areas, they are out there, they have a very low educational standard. They live in housing which is prone to, in the Philippines, it was fire and typhoons. And they are risk averse. They don't want to go into. They have no resources to invest into something. So they are in a situation which is typical out there in big part of the world. And the farming industry, the small-scale farming industry, they are normally in that situation. Now, the changing of 119%, so the double, so to say, of their income, that was a positive impact felt by these farmers. Now, how they got into that better result? Well, it started out very easily. You have to organize yourself, right? And I talked you through the GI organization, association, you know this. Well, it doesn't start out as a GI association. I told you that. No, it starts out like a cooperative between, 15, 20, 30 farmers of an area or whatever it is. And then it goes further. So the first organization always is a kind of cooperation between farmers in order to market the product to whatever, local markets, supermarkets. Well, with regard to supermarkets, there's a difficulty. So the supermarkets are big chains. They want a steady and continuous flow of supply, and small-scale farmers often are not being able to participate in the bit sophisticated procurement system with regard to supermarket and guarantee the steady and continuous flow of supply. Now, what they have done in the Philippines, there is a kind of a different association in the middle between the corporation and the supermarket, which is Upland UMFI, Upland Markets. Well, you find this, I don't know exactly what it is, stands for UMFI. So this was a structure, kind of NGO, or a kind of, which has been incorporated. Well, it has for profit. It was a for-profit agency. So they were in the middle between the farmers and on the associations and the supermarkets, and they standardized the different corporations, and they provided some assistance to the farmers and to the corporations in order to come to just that, to guarantee a steady flow, to guarantee a certain quantity, to make it possible to participate in the procurement system with regard to organic rice. And they were specialized precisely in the organic rice industry. And then once you get into the supermarket, which is the biggest challenge probably for all the small-scale farmers, you may go to the local market, yes, where you can sell your products, but this is only a small way to play. So you want a bigger play is in the supermarkets, and the supermarkets are, you know, this international chains or whatever, and you have to come into it playing by the rules. And playing by the rules, that was precisely what UMFI did. So once they got into the supermarket and they got the steady flow, so that was a kind of breakthrough where your product comes to the consumer. And the niche market, and within the supermarket, they realized that there's a niche market which can be filled with local farmers or with a label of locality, of quality, etc. So that was being able to take to the next level of pricing with regard to organic rice, with a positive impact for the rising farmer. So some key elements here was providing assistance to the local farmers, providing assistance with regard to production efficiency, with regard to the best examples from one area to apply it to the other. With the second was the possibility to guarantee the continuous flow. It was a typhoon or fire or some disastrous event in one area, they would be able to supplant the supply with another area where there was not a disaster. So they could guarantee a continuous flow of supply to the supermarket. So this was a possibility which gave the organic, the small-scale farmer, the possibility to go to the market. So you can go from there onwards a step further if you have sufficient supermarkets, sufficient possibilities, sufficient products to go further, so more than what is wanted in the Philippines, so you may go outside. Now, was that concrete enough for you? Organic rice is a lot out there, which is very close to you. Very close to Asia, so to say, but it can, the same dynamic can play with Africa as well. So you need to go through this process of initial organization of the farmers in order to get a step further, and you have to look to the different products in order to respond to what each product and each region and each system in each country's jurisdiction has the possibility. And hopefully they have the possibility. More often they have not, but you have to work with them in order to get them. So thank you for tuning in. This was an example. Hopefully this helped you a bit further to get into the industry. Thank you.